Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Benjamin Tuttle, and today we just got news that iClone Live Link for Unreal Engine 5.6 has been released. So, in this live stream, I'm going to show you how to install the auto setup and the Unreal Engine Live Link. Sorry, the Live Link for iClone, and just kind of walk you through it. For those who want to work with the Unreal Engine, make an account with Epic Games, download the Epic launcher, and there you can install Unreal Engine. Today we'll be working with 5.6. So the first thing we need to do is you go to fab.com. And for those who are really new to it and want to learn how to install the Live Link, you look up iClone Unreal Live Link, and then you add it to your library, and there in your Epic Games launcher here. So we go to Unreal Engine, the library, and I already have it installed, so you're going to have to install it into your program here. So we'll be installing to Engine. We'll be using 5.6, so install that. It shouldn't take too long. So it's going to go through a couple things. So to go to Reallusion, and if you want to get it installed into iClone, if you actually meet the criteria, just go to Indie Free. You don't need to buy it if you meet the criteria. Your annual gross revenue must be less than $100,000 a year. You have to have a full version of iClone 8, one license per user or organization, and just look at the end user license agreement and log in to request it. You have to have an account, so request it, and you'll get it for free. You don't need to buy it if you meet this criteria. I need to say this again. It has happened a few times already, so just letting you know. Once you have it ready and you install into iClone, the first thing we need to do is we need to make a new project. So go to launch. Once you have 5.6 installed, as you can tell, I have a lot of these and a couple projects actually. So we're just going to make a new Unreal Engine project here. And if anyone has any questions, let me know. I'm actually I do have tutorials online somewhere, a couple when it comes to working with Unreal Engine. I also do private tutoring for a price, $50 per session. That'll get you going with Unreal Engine. I'll answer any questions that you have and get you going, and it's been pretty helpful from what I heard. So if you're interested in that, I have it down below. We do a Zoom meeting. I walk you through it, show you the sequencer and a couple tools to recommend and get you going. But I'll just be playing around with 5.6. We'll bring a character in and apply an animation. So for this one, so it depends if you're into games, you're going to use it. But if you're going to animation or cinematics or anything like that, or I would just do film, video, live events. That's what I usually do. Here, we're going to go to, I'm just going to make a new folder. So that way I can just throw it. There we go. Select folder. Okay. Just call it UE. There we go. There we are. So this should be good. And create. All right. So there's one more thing we need to get. So if you have your iClone open up, close that. Under plugins, you go to Character Creator and iClone Auto Setup, get the tool for Unreal, and it's going to take you to this page here. So we'll do free download, and we have a new version here. So download that, and we'll just quickly install it here quickly. There we go. Just get rid of that. Don't run it. Hold on, sorry. Wonder if it got blocked. There we go. Sorry, it got blocked for a second. Sometimes that'll happen, especially if you have a program like Norden. Which I think I do. So let me disable that for 10 minutes. It's fairly common, so now that's done. Now we're just going to enable that again. There we are. Yeah. But anyways, we'll do auto setup 1.39 for Unreal Engine 5.6. So this here is your CC shaders. And we're going to go in quickly. And in the other folder, sorry, I'm going to make a new one here. And we're going to find my folder for my Unreal project. Here. There we go. So this here, sorry. Just want to make sure. This here is my Unreal Engine here. So what you need to do is you need to copy and paste. Don't just drag it, just copy and paste, otherwise you're going to have to constantly reinstall it. There we go. So now that's done, we'll just exit out of it. And here we have a fresh project here. So what we need to do is we're going to go into plugins quickly. And so edit plugins. This will take you to the folder here. And you're going to go into Unreal. Click on that. It's going to ask you to restart, but that's okay. Restart now. So we'll have the live link here, ready to go. Okay. And if everything is going pretty well, just because we drag those folders in, it's going to install the character creator here, this auto setup here. So just apply, and you want to make sure, and if you see this, that means the live link is working. So we have CC shaders, we have our character here, sorry, we don't have, character creator here, the shaders. It goes through everything here. We'll have to make adjustments to these. But before we do anything, I actually want to go into project settings. I'm going to do a little experiment here. So if we go to rendering, this is just going to be for myself. So gonna turn that off. So allow static lighting will get you to work with ambient occlusion maps, so just turn that off. And that's it. Oh, I must have misspelled translucency like an idiot. That's okay. This here is for depth of field. We'll see if this works. The last couple of versions, it has not worked very well, to be honest with you. So we'll see if it works. So we'll just get that out of the way, and let's actually get a character into Unreal Engine. Sure, let's bring in Lana. I'm just hoping she's not like in the nude or anything like that, or because YouTube doesn't like it too much. So let's just bring in hairstyle or something. Yeah, something like this would work. Okay, this is good. Okay, character, it looks okay. Let's just do a quick animation for her. So let's go, not motion directed, but animation. Motion plus. This will work. Okay. Okay, so you see the eyes moving and everything. So the one thing I usually do is I don't like bringing in, let's just also get some clothing on her as well, just in case. Sure, let's get that. There we go. All right, so we have our character. Everything will be ready to go. There's a couple things I want to try out, but we'll see. For starters, we'll have the character here. So you can bring in camera and everything. I don't do that. I just only bring in the character. The only thing I do is emotion, and then character in its motion. That's all. So there we go. Character should be good to go in range. There we are. And I think that's fine. You can actually do a sequencer if you want, but for now we'll just do the transfer. So that's the Unreal Engine Live link. I don't do the linking and everything because it's not very convenient. It's much easier just to transfer, and then you can just transfer motions and make a new sequence. So it's often pretty fast too. So let's see if the separate translucency works. Not sure what's taking so long, but that's all right. There, it should bring in the character. Yep. Now, I would not just, what I would do is actually rename the character instead of CC3 base plus, because if you try bringing in like characters with the same name, it's going to have a lot of, it's going to error out. You're not going to be able to send characters in. So just rename the character. And if you're ever transferring motions, it has to be under the same name. So just remember, rename the character. Cool. So it's just going to take its time. Sorry. Then let's also apply another animation to the character. There you go. Okay, so the character should be ready to go. Very good. So I have the character here. Okay, let's save that. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make a new level sequence. So we'll just go main sequence 1. Oops, sorry. 1. There we go. Do 24 here. Bring in the character. And right there. So under RL content, that's where you're going to find your character in the motion here. What I personally like to do is I like to make a new folder just in case for if we need to organize by scene. So if I do like scene 1, it's just there for organization. So you just go scene 1, you know, character, idle, something like that for my naming convention. I just drag it in. There we go. That way I know. You want to stay organized. So if we look through here, you even see it. Now there's a problem here. Yeah, it looks like that bug's still around. Yeah, we're going to have to delete that. It happens a lot. When you bring in the character, it's not going to properly work. So you're going to have to bring in the character again. That's no big deal. So what I like to do, and we'll just bring in this character, put it, you know, put it 0, 0, 0, and try again. There we go. Sometimes you just have to go in. It's a goofy little bug, but that's all right. But everything seems to be okay. A couple things. What I recommend is I don't recommend like making your scenes here because the lighting is really, really harsh. So what we're going to do, I just want to see if everything worked. Yeah, glad Still going through that bug, but that's all right. What I'm going to do is just make a new level. This level here. And we'll load it. Don't save. There we go. And I can even delete this. Don't want it. Okay, so just going to make a very quick set, and I'm going to show you a couple things you can do with the Unreal Live Link, or the iClone Live Link here. So under Shape, make a plane. So do this under 10. And what we need to do is increase this by 90 degrees. And I'm also going to just make a quick light. So this is what I usually do for sets like this. Just like to make a basic little set. Just to test the character out. There we go. So if you ever want to bring it into iClone, you can. So you can just select that, go to iClone, transfer to iClone, and convert all, and there we go. There's your set. It's pretty interesting too. So, you know, we see an issue here, 0, 0, and 0, and yeah. Yeah, you can tell. So we'll go up to here. And do that there. Good. So yeah, we'll even delete this for a second and try again. So just select those three just in case. Transfer to iClone. Sorry. And if you want, you can also make an origin point too, just in case if you want to move it around where your characters are standing, you can do that too. So personally, I like to build a set, bring it over, animate, and then just set the character animation. So let's find her. We applied a new animation for her. Just as long as the character has the same name and everything. So what I can do is stretch this out. Transfer only motion. You don't have to transfer the character again. Range and transfer file. And what it's going to do is it's just going to transfer the motion, which you can put into the sequencer. So I'll show you. Unreal Engine is it's a little confusing, pretty hectic at first. It takes some time to learn, but once you kind of get through the system of like bringing characters in and out, it's a lot easier to work with. I think too many people are kind of afraid of it. It's not as bad as what as you expect. It's not. There are a lot of things that will frustrate you. I'm gonna just at the beginning. I think when it comes to like making getting the animations in and kind of knowing how to navigate the sequencer, I think that's where it really gets people. But like I said, I do tutoring. I can get you through a lot of the frustrations. Not only that, but there's also there's a lot of advantages with working with Unreal Engine. So when Character Creator 5 comes out, we'll test that and also be testing in Blender too, now that I have a pretty decent graphics card. So we have the character, we transfer the animation. So under motion, you can even see the other animation here. So we'll just call it idle 2, whatever. Forget my naming convention. Just move here. Yeah, so fine. Scene 1, CC3, idle 2. There we go. So idle 1, idle 2, you have 2 different animations. Let's just bring in the character. There's our character here. So I'll just put her at 0, 0, and 0. And now that I have that done, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make a basic lighting setup. So we have a basic, I'm going to be working with rectangular lighting. Sorry. Oh, let's do here. And let's actually change this by 45 degrees. Sorry. I forgot they moved. It used to be over here, but now it's over here. So sorry. I'm used to 5.5. I've only used this a few times just to mess with metahuman characters. There we go. So pressing E, and not only that, but we'll change it from world to global to put it at 45-degree angle. There we go. So a couple things I like to do is, yeah, so I like to at least set it up here. And finally, what I'm going to do here, I'll change it to like 4 or 5 or so. Let's do 8 for now. And then finally, we'll switch back to local instead of global here. And what I'm going to do is just rotate this by 90 degrees. So that's going to be my key and my fill here. So let's do that here. Let's also adjust. So color temperature, I like to adjust by 5500. And the other one by 8500. There we go. Okay. And we'll see how this works. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add a camera. We'll actually make a new level sequence too, just in case. Yeah, that'll work. Same thing, 24 frames per second. And you can actually make a camera by clicking on this. So, but personally, I like to do this. I like to go to cinematic and Cine Camera Actor. I also have a plug. I work with the plugin that actually has its settings, has all the settings here. So right click. What I'm doing is pilot, so Control Shift P, or you can just right click and do pilot camera actor, and that way you move the camera around. Yep, okay, so the separate translucency doesn't work. Okay, that's good to know. Glad. All right, that's all right. What we need to do is when I'm actually going to go to camera component. There's a few things I'm going to do. Personally, I don't. We're going to go to camera. Sorry. A second. It's been a while. Sorry, it's been a while since I've worked with a basic camera for a while, so bear with me on this one. Just want to make sure it's okay. So exposure, I'm going to do manual and exposure compensation. Let's do like 5, 6. Let's do 8. Let's do 6 for now and just increase the rectangular lights here. May have to actually increase them like you can also just go to exposure compensation. The reason why I kind of set this up like this is yeah, the reason why I have my own custom camera thing, because I don't, it just, for manual, when I said it's manual, that way when you do automatic, it tries to brighten to everything. It tries to warm up and it's often very distracting. So we have an issue here. First, I'm going to set up my crop 2.39. And for crop settings here, lens, personally I like to do a squeeze of 2 because of anamorphic effects. So under Cine Camera Actor, what's our, let me check a couple things. Our aperture, I'm going to change it to like 4. Okay. And with that, because it needs to take in more light, you need to just increase the exposure a bit. Okay, so what I need to do is now go to my focus settings, draw debug focus, and change it. There you go. So we have our character here, and she's all ready to go, except for the fact that what you saw, and if we just put this out of focus, you kind of see issues here along the scalp and the eyes, and we're going to fix that. I thought separate translucency was going to fix it, but apparently not. It's been a bug for a long time. Sorry, there's really not a whole lot I can do. So we need to go to tier line. The first thing we need to do is go to parent here, and we need to find tier line. And you can also do this too. You can also go to RL content, CC shaders, go to tier line. You can actually find this here. So or you can go into character as well. So the first thing we can do is double click, and it's going to take you here. You click on this, on the RL tier line, the main, your output. Since it's under translucent, you're going to type in DOF and do before and save. Common thing happens all the time. Just so it did fix here, but we need to go to iClone. So go to iClone here. And you can do this before you bring in characters too, but I just want to show you. I usually do this before I bring in a character. You just type in DOF, under translucency pass, you press before and save. And I'll show you. Ta-da, you see it's fixed. So we need to find out what the hair is. It's probably the scalp. So if we go under scalp transparency, RL standard opacity, but there's a problem. It's masked. So if I type in DOF, it's grayed out. That means you can't change it. So what you do is you go to translucent, type in DOF, press before, and turn it back to masked, and save it. And there we go. All fixed. You may have to do a couple more things as well, but yeah, for the film, yeah, let's do 35mm. And what is my prime lens here? Lens, let's do a 50mm prime. Yeah, there you go. So if we just do the focus plane here, we have a character, and there we go. So all ready to go. Bring in the character and find the animation. So fairly simple. Does that fix it for the next characters you bring in? Yes, because all the characters use these shader files. Do you have to do it again? Nope. Once you actually adjust it, that's why when I bring in a character, this is what I usually do before I bring in characters. I would go through the files here. So like the eyelash shader, I would just go and look through here, look at the attributes, type in DOF, and press before, and then I save. And I usually do this to every single one of these, or when I do it for eye occlusion, tier line, standard opacity, and I save it as so when you bring in a character. So let's bring in another character, and I'll show you. So let's here I'll show you too. So Yeah, let's bring in Daphne. So here you can actually just change the animation file. So under 2. Okay. So let's find hair for her. Sure, this will work. Or actually one of the real illusion hairs to make sure we are good to go. Let's try bringing something from real illusion. And since she has a name of Daphne, it's not going to conflict. But if you're bringing in like CC plus, or if it has the same name as the other character we brought in, it's going to have issues. So just be aware of that. Be aware of it. It's going to have serious problems. Oops. Let's bring in that character. Okay, and let's apply an animation to her. Let's do posing. Okay. So what I do is scene, character, and arrange, and transfer the file. So not too bad. Not too bad at all. And you do it for anything with translucency. Yep, you want to do it. You also do it for materials too, because it's not an iClone thing. It's an Unreal Engine thing. So it happens a lot with a lot of Unreal Engine sets. So if you have like a car, and if you're doing something with shallow depth of field, and you see that same issue, you're going to have to go into that car's materials, go into anything with the find the glass shader, and do the before DOF. So there you go. So it's going to be importing Daphne. You have to go into the parent shaders and do it though. Did it crash? Huh, cool, it crashed. That's okay, we'll get back into it. Things happen. Sure, let's bring those. Okay. Just gives us a chance to get this back up and running. Okay. And did I get my level sequence back up and running here? Okay, we'll just make sure. Good. And let's test out the camera. Did I actually bring Daphne in, or let's double check. Nope, did not bring Daphne in. Okay, so let me see if Daphne is under. Okay, let's bring her in again. Things happen. So I'm still working with 5.5 for a project right now. I am looking to MetaHuman, but I'm also well, I shouldn't be opening up random projects. It's probably not good for it. But I'm actually looking into Blender right now. I'm working on utilizing like how to do cycle renders now. I have a project in mind I want to try out. And I'm thinking of using Character Creator 5 for that. So when it comes time, we can work on it. I can show you how to mess around with it, but we'll see. I'm still learning it. All right, let's see how Unreal Engine is doing. But for now, we're just going to go through it here, and I'll show you. Okay, so that's a very promising sign. Everything is importing as it should. And the most interesting thing is, I wish I kept the other character. You can actually bring in the two characters. So if you have two characters talking to one another, you can, or having a discussion, or you know, they're dancing, or if there's any romantic scenes, you can have the two characters animate, and then you know, let's say if there's like a constraint like linking, like a reach, you can, it bakes it into it, and you transfer the two, and then you can actually apply it to the animation, or you can apply it to the live link, and it's going to transfer it. So as long as you have them in the right location, it should be pretty seamless. I've been doing that with fighting scenes too, which is kind of fun. There we go. So just because of that bug, I'm going to delete Daphne. And she has her own folder. Let's save everything just in case. So bring in Daphne here. And let's actually get our camera, pilot. And if we just turn off the focus here, you can see no more issues. Do I have any Blender set building tutorials on my channel? Not yet. Actually, I did build, like, I used to build sets in Blender. I'll be working more on that later on, but yep, there's your kick. So definitely works. A couple things here. Let's say what we can do is simulate. You can see the cloth. You can actually make adjustments. So if you don't like it, if the hair has any issues, we'll click on our character, and you can tell there's a little bit, it's a little too much, and especially if things go through, you have to we'll do activate cloth paint here, so you kind of see right through here. You can make a paint, so it's a paint based system, and what you also can do is you can actually make adjustments. This here, I'd be careful about subdivision and everything. You don't want to do too much of it, but for me, you can make adjustments so we can actually drive up the stiffness. And if there's things like if it's going through clothing and everything, what we can do is we can actually adjust the collision thickness. So like 0.1. So you can actually, it's not going to give you a seamless transfer. It's a apples and oranges kind of situation. So you're going to have to adjust it into, you're going to have to make some adjustments. It's okay. It's not as bad. Just it takes some practice, and it's a lot of trial and error. But you can, it's worth a shot. So you gonna play nice Unreal? I don't think it's gonna play nice on me. So kind of see it kind of stops messing around, but a little bit, but there, if we stop it, you know, I can see it play out, but so if you have to the character here, do animation, idle 2. It's fairly easy. Fairly easy to work with. Like once you get the whole system down, it makes things a lot easier. You kind of notice I use a lot of rectangular lights because, frankly, I like using them. It's like box lighting. Kind of saw me do a basic light. If let's see. You can also, this is where you can work with visual effects too, as well. Shutter speed. You know, control shutter speed. Bloom. So if you want to do anything like any like lens flares and stuff like that, if you have like a bright object, as seen in some of my projects here, you enable that, or you can also make a post process volume. You can do that too. Depth of field, obviously. There's actually something interesting too. Sure, let's actually go through it here. You don't really see it, but like it's more for portraits. It's called a Petzval bokeh. Yeah, you can actually make one of those if you want. That's up to you. They started becoming a lot more trendier in filmmaking. Fairly common with portraits and all that, but look it up if you're interested. Yeah, so we just bring in Daphne, and let's get an animation on her. So, yeah, that's basically how to get, and not only that, but also to properly get the camera track and how to animate it. You just drag it in. It's going to make a camera cut here. So let's say we want to do a rack focus on the character. So what I'm going to do here is, let's go through here. You get your keyframes here. Turn on the debug focus. Character 1 and character 2, just like that. And there we go. Not that, but also can transfer motion. So under transform, let's say we have this. This is not the best camera angle, but, and then we can transfer here. So, and you can also adjust. So stuff like that. And also, but once you lock it in, you can't really, like once you press this, it'll lock the camera, so you can't really move it around as much, but that's okay. You can use the transfer keys here to make adjustments, and also there comes with a little curve editor here, so you have a lot more control, like ins and outs. So what you do is you transfer that to weighted tangents, and weighted tangents here, there you can control your ease in and ease out. So if we do this, just like that. So, and once you're done, you can easily just go to here. What you do is, this is your render queue, so you save it. It usually comes in JPEG, image sequence, but you can actually make adjustments. You can actually do this in Apple ProRes if you want. So if you really want to, you can render this in ProRes. Personally, I like image sequence, and not only that, but you can also include audio. So let's say if a character is talking, yeah, I can even show you guys how to do this, and we'll render in ProRes. So let's just have Daphne talk for a second, because that was the only character I brought in. Yep. So let's have her do a scene, and quickly go under modify, create script, Eclipse, and let's find a character for one of my movies here. Do you think metahumans are going to put Revolution out of business? Not really. The main issue, like, I've worked with the metahumans already. I do like the 3D mesh. I do like a lot of things about metahuman, but there are some things that are absolutely annoying. The main disadvantage of metahuman is it's not very user friendly. Especially for anybody who wants to work with this as a hobby. You're going to have to make a lot of adjustments in clothing, which is very limited. And it doesn't have like the hide mesh features. You're going to have to actually go in and make opacity maps in metahuman, which the clothing sticks out. You also have to work with parametric stuff, which is just a pain in the ass. If it's annoying for me, it's going to be annoying. It just annoys the hell out of me working with it. I'm still kind of dealing with a lot of the clothing issues. I'm working with MetaTailor right now, which I've gotten pretty decent results, but the only problem is that you constantly see the skin mesh poking, and Character Creator has a very easy solution for that kind of issue. You can actually hide the mesh, and it's fairly easy. What you do is you highlight it and then you hide mesh. But for Unreal Engine, there's a lot of workarounds and stuff like that you have to do, and it's kind of a pain. If they fix that, then yeah, there could be some serious competition. And if they make it a lot easier for people to use, I can see that being a very strong competitor. But for the average person, no. That's my review. Hopefully that helped you. Yep, and Revolution has a much easier animation. I mean, the strongest advantage for iClone is how easy it is to animate, especially getting stuff like lip syncing. I know they have the audio to face, but I did see something with Character Creator 5 that got my interest, and until I can't wait to mess with it. If it does work out, it's going to actually transform like facial animation. It's going to be huge, but I have to. Maybe I should start asking questions. It's too bad I don't write for a 3D magazine anymore. So yeah, no, I think I still think Character Creator is pretty. I mean, that's the main advantage. Hopefully, yeah, that's my honest opinion on it. It's still very, very limited. Shoot. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, MetaHuman, like, I did like the 3D, like, how, like, the head, like, basically, compared to, like, Headshot, I do really like the MetaHuman process of it. And there's a lot of things I do like about MetaHuman, but the main disadvantage is actually really customizing like body shape and everything. It doesn't really compare to Character Creator. It doesn't, and especially like costumes, how easy it is for everything. No, I think like looking at it from like a glance, like, oh, this is going to be amazing. It's way better than Character Creator. But then once you really dive into it, then you start seeing a lot of stuff like, oh, this isn't going to work for people. This is going to be a huge challenge, that kind of thing. I think too many people are excited about the initial thought of it rather than just diving into it, but that's my own personal opinion. So let's just bring this character in. Let's do the motion and do here, bring in Daphne. Okay. So yeah, that's my main critique. And I wanted to make a film with MetaHuman. I actually thought about it. I'll be honest, I'm not too excited at the prospect. I think I might look into, I'm still on the fence with it. But I'm working on Endgame right now. So it's not my main priority. I want to make sure I got the right animation. There you go. All right, so we have our character. But this is from my own personal experience. That's my own little observations with it. But then again, you know, there's some huge advantages with MetaHuman, but there's some drawbacks with it, and the drawbacks are like the main thing. Like, I don't think I want to work with it just yet. You know, that's my my little thing I have to say. Okay, so I have the character here. We have a little voice thing. So what we need to do is we can add an audio track. Yes. And I'm just going to look up message. There you go. And try to link it up here. There we go. So we do that here, even though this is not the best animation, but this is just to showcase what you can do. Let's go to here. You can do I rather do ProRes. Let's just include the audio. And let's just do that here. And it's going to save it under the movie render. Yeah. Right now I'm actually experimenting with MetaTailor. It also has a Character Creator plugin. I don't know. It's just for me. Maybe it's just my thing. I just been having a lot of issues with the costumes. I've been able to do like animation pretty easily with MetaHuman. I've gotten the facial expressions. There's been a really good program that helps me. That helps me with MetaHuman, but just just the costumes, and it's such a brick wall. It really is. It's so damn frustrating. But if you're willing, if you get over that and you want to work with it, sure. You know, whatever works for you. Let's just do that here. Create. Yeah, I renewed Adobe. The evil empire. I know, shame. He agrees to the better do the audio and the editing process. Well, to be honest with you, I don't really. I like to do the editing in Audition and Premiere. Like I don't like to do everything in Unreal. The only reason, let's say this, and let me go and save that quickly for you guys. Where did I save it? Yeah, it just I've been working with Premiere for years. I know. I'm addicted to it. God help me. I know it's like the evil empire. Yeah. But no, I don't use it as my final one. So, and when I do image sequence, this actually came from somebody by the name of. So, Mike, if you're seeing this, I didn't really think about it until you brought it up and asked about it. What you can do is you can actually export the WAV file. So, we can just do that, export and local. So what it does here, so when I do image sequence, if I do image sequence, it actually renders since I save it as a WAV file, it renders the wave, and that way I actually can do a lot of the, if I do, like, it kind of syncs up, so it helps with a lot of the lip syncing. So that's actually kind of a really good tip for anybody who works with it. You can do ProRes. I like to do image sequence. Yeah. So you can actually export both image sequence and the wave at the same time. So you can just lock them in. The other thing you can do is, you can do high resolution as well, but console variables, there you can set some variables like, fix, let's say there's an issue with ghosting. So if we actually go into an old project, let me load up a project for you guys. And since we're done with iClone, we're done with it. So let's go into my project here. So let's see. And in the meantime, I can show you the camera tool that I use. So if we go to plugins, camera, cinematographer, light. If you look it up in the Fab store, you can actually go buy it. It's like 20 bucks, I think, but well worth it. That's what I use. So let's close out. This is Endgame. Good. So under sorry. There it is. Here, under my console variables, this is what I have so far. I'll probably, thinking about it, since I have a new graphics card, actually you can do a lot more. But for now, this was when I was having my 2080. You can have a look. I'll probably improve shadows and everything. So that's where I would save it. Yeah, we'll even show you some of my sets here that I've worked on. So this is my camera tool. So if we just go back to that set. I'm just gonna actually, what I'm going to do is go under Engine, Plugins. So if you're really serious about working with Unreal Engine, I recommend this camera. Plus, I also recommend Ultra Dynamic Sky because it's incredible. There's like if you really want to get into it and want to ask me a bunch of questions like which plugins to get, I'll show you. But yeah, this is you can see the lighting's a bit different. So I can actually change the lens. I like to do a 47 prime. You can see it's warming up. I don't personally like that, so I do movie. It's at 48 frames per second. Shutter angle is at 180. Let's do the aperture at 4, and let's set the camera component. And what I'm going to do is go to lens, exposure, and what I'd like to do is set it at 2. There, it comes with its own lens. It comes with a couple of other plugins, chromatic. Here, I'll just walk you through it here. Features include, has exposure correction, so it has ISO grain, it has motion blur, pretty good motion blur, by the way, and you can, you get a much more realistic one. It just does a lot of the heavy lifting for you, to be honest. That's the reason why I got it. I don't want to go through the change. I just like to drag the camera in. What the heck is this? Weird. I don't know what that is, but never seen that before. Must be a new setting, but I don't want to mess around with it. So if I go through here, we can even put the character through the level sequence. Put the camera through here, make sure. And to set the camera speed, you can actually adjust here. Come on. There we go. So that way it's not too fast. Good. good. Let's lock it in. Because I want to actually change the lighting. So if we do this, let's actually move the lighting so it can focus on her instead. So just like that. So I like to give the lighting a little bit more life here. There we go. Seriously, lighting. That is the most important thing you can have in your production. I cannot stress this enough. It doesn't matter what program you use. iClone, Unreal Engine, Blender, Unity, doesn't matter. If you can't light, if you don't know how to light, you're in trouble. You're not going to get the results you want if there's poor lighting. It's important to learn how to light. And the one thing that I wish iClone did have was this. I wish iClone had these. Well, they have like a really rudimentary one, but this, just like a little box light like this. So if anyone does anyone have any questions? Anyway, yeah. This is what, for like set design, this is what you can be capable of. I'm still building this little set here. Once you see it, but the reason why I went with Unreal is because of the set design. It's incredible. I love Unreal set design. I love working with sets in Unreal Engine. It's just fun. But yeah, So that's basically it. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to let me know. Yeah. Heck. Yeah, I mean, even the lighting doesn't have to be too complex. Look at what you're capable of. So this is an old project. So if I lock it here, this was something I did the other night. And this is in 5.5. So that's really basically what you get to work with Unreal Engine. So if we go through meeting, so you kind of see what I did with this camera here. So if we go to the camera, under camera component, so the lights here, without the light, without camera, you kind of see just a bunch of shiny lights, character standing. Another tip, if you're having glasses, guns, random stuff like that, don't bring it in through the Unreal Engine or through the iClone Live. Don't attach it to the character because you're going to have issues with material, especially glass. So what you do is bring in the character without the glasses, bring in the glasses, and then make a lens. So I'll show you what the lens is quickly. So if I go to glasses, you can tell there's some serious issues here. Under skeleton mesh, what I did was, and yeah, this is kind of a complaint with someone's content here. Sorry to ramble, but I want you to go ahead and screen cap it for glasses. This is actually a really good material. Yeah, I'll even space this out for you guys. So whenever you're making a glass lens, here's what you do. Surface translucent. Under lighting mode, surface forward shading. Surface forward shading. Surface translucent. And don't forget, when you type in DOF, do it before, not afterwards, before. Once that's done, because that's going to produce this really nice effect compared to default. So if you do surface forward shading, you can also bring in like roughness and metallic. So just letting you know. There, you can set your color. It's pretty easy. You press it 3. 3 will give you a color. Type 3 and then press left click. 1 will give you a value. Right click is convert to parameter. There you can actually make adjustments in your sequencer. But for me, you can just type it in. So when I type in opacity, and then I have it 0.125. So you set the default value at 0.125. So you press 1, hold 1, and press left click to make these. This is your value nodes. Metallic is at 1. IOR is at 0.66, and that goes to the specular. Roughness 0.05, that goes into roughness, and opacity is right through here. So that's basically glass. Very useful, especially if you want to make glasses. So if your character has glasses or anything that reflects back, just make that material, bring in the glasses, and what you do is go through here. When you have the glasses, just drag them into the scene, line it up with the character, drag it in the character here. So I took that out. I'm going to take it back in. Just drag it to the character and parent to the head. Just like that. Very easy to do. Yeah, same thing with guns, random stuff like that. Any accessories I don't bring in separately. If you don't do this, especially with glass, you're going to have issues where it's like a really weird checkerboard thing. This happens a lot with Unreal and iClone characters. So if you really want to fix that bug, it happened in a lot of my earlier projects. This is something I just kind of stumbled into and found to fix. So this is my little secret. Yeah, so just bring it in separate, attach character, do all that stuff in. So make reflective stuff if there's like reflective sunglasses. Pretty easy. Materials is very simple. I'll have to discuss how to make a video. Very easy. That one's actually fairly simple. It's just a little tedious. Eventually I'll show you how to do it. Yeah, lighting's very simple. You kind of saw my lighting setup. Just remember, lighting is important, especially in your storytelling. Take advantage of that. Set design I made myself. I made it in Blender. So, made the walls. This came from Polygon. I'll show you how to bring in Polygon assets. Looks pretty nice. So I'll show you how to do that if you want. So we'll do that later if anyone's interested. But that's it for me. If anyone has any questions, feel free to ask. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully this helped you. Hopefully this made things a lot easier. Unreal Engine is not as bad as many as you expect. So take some practice. Always just dive in. The first thing I always tell people is make a set. Before you do anything with characters and animation, build a set, film it, and then render a sequence. That way you kind of get used to it. That way you kind of know everything about you know the ins and outs. And not only that, but what I recommend is just build a set in Unreal Engine, transfer it to iClone, then animate around that set, and then what you saw me do with the characters and the animation, that's all you gotta do. There you can plan your lighting, your camera work, and everything. And not only that, but you can also dive into the next step here, which would be, for me, visual effects. You can really play around with visual effects. So if we do like, we can do, for me, let's do squibs. Let's see, wood. So let's put that in. Yeah, this is where you get to have a lot of fun, especially if you're dealing with chaos. And thinking about it, I can actually do like volumetric stuff. Like we can do like fluids, volumetric fluids, like explosions. Oh, we can have a lot of fun with that. It is a fun time to do this. So if we do, something gets shot, boom. So you see that, let's say, let's also attach, please tell me you got, decals. Yes. Incredible. Hold on. Don't worry, I'll fix this. Let's go with 5. 1. Boom. So that, all we can do is transform. Boom. So let's do that here. What I can do is the transform tool here. And where is it getting activated? Okay. Oh, sorry. Let's put that here. And let's put that here. Sorry, I'm getting distracted with a ton of stuff. I can show you just the fun part of this. And do that. And press G. 3, 2, 1, and you can even make it faster. So. Stuff like that here, so you can see little bullet wounds here. Can probably make it let's see if I can actually make the squib effect a little smaller. So maybe 0.5. We'll see. Let's actually look at that squib effect. Spawn count, life. You can also change the size of it too as well, but that's a later time. But to be honest, it's probably you know, probably wouldn't be too much to notice, to be honest with you. But yeah, now you get to see what I'm doing tomorrow, what I get to do tomorrow. So that's just a little thing I'm working with. So here we'll have a character stand behind. There's gonna be a shootout. Bang bang. So anyway, yeah, that's it for me tonight. So thank you guys for watching. See ya.